Hello, everybody. I would like to welcome you to today's talk with the Brother Malik Experience. This is the Brother Malik Experience here. And we are today's March 4th, 2017. And we're going to definitely touch on some things and really get in depth with some different perspectives as we begin to further on and further the experience. And I would first like to preface today's talk with we're doing this and we're putting these programs together so that we can reach people. And so we want to thank Tracy and Malik's Bus Company, Cheese Bus Inc., the Laugh and Learn Place, um, for funding these projects that we're going to be doing, and furthering the cause of the community, and really reaching out in depth so that we can change lives. We had a great meeting this morning where we touched on some wonderful topics, and and I think one of the most growing concerns that I have now is the state of delusional thinking. And we really, and not to get too political, but we're living in a day and time where we have a president who is a delusional thinker. um, and he's suffering from President Donald J. Trump is suffering from what a lot of people are suffering from. A lot of people suffering from delusional thinking. And delusional thinking stems from two things. Uh, it stems from our ideas and concepts about life, how we perceive the world, how we perceive our environment, how we perceive the people in our environment. And a lot of it is based on our prior experience. Our prior experience shapes how we see present day events in the moment. But see, the thing is, it's not good to rely on our prior experience in its totality, even though it has some excellent value. But our prior experience is sometimes skewed in our lack of experience as we were going through those experiences. I can't totally rely on my prior experience in because as I was going through them, I wasn't always in the right frame of mind. So how the information came in, it also helped me reach conclusions that weren't totally true. And this is where the problem lies. The problem also lies in uh, in the fact that I've reached a conclusion. I've come to a conclusion. Let's just say if you're 13, you come to a conclusion about something with a 13-year-old mind. Now at 35, I'm basing a present moment experience I have with some of those 13-year-old conclusions that I came up with. I want you to really follow me here. I want you to really, really follow me here, because this is going to get really, really, really powerful. And so I have to watch out and be careful, uh, so that I don't allow the years and years of experiences that I have to corrupt. this new experience that's taking place and how I view something. Because I really I got to go to God. I got to get still. I got to be spiritually fit. And I have to try to operate on a clear slate as much as I possibly can so that I can see things clearly. Because my ideas and concepts are going to do two things. They're going to the my ideas and concepts are going to, in my mind, are going to trigger a feeling inside me. It's going to trigger some emotion, and that emotion is going to further go down and tap into issues that are already there. And then those issues that are based on past experiences are going to now cause me to do one or two things. It's going to cause me to do something or to not do something. And in either case, I could be creating a lot of harm. See, because there's things that I should be doing that I might not be doing based on an idea and a concept, right? That's, sometimes things we don't do are even more harmful to us than the things we do. See, so I want you to follow me here. And then it could cause me to take an action that can really, that could have long-lasting effects based on what I say, based on what I do to someone else. And so that itself is which sets into place trains of emotions and actions that just listen. The effects are endless. We go on and on affecting people, and at some point in time, they retaliate back to us, on us, from things that we did to them in the past, and we don't even know. We don't even know why, because we don't even see from which it came. So it's very, delusional thinking. Delusional thinking means that I can't see the truth. I could be being honest. Honesty and the truth is two different things. I could be honest and not be telling the truth. I can. Because honesty is my perception of the truth. People say, that guy is very honest. That person is very honest. They tell you like it is. Well, okay, that's nice. But that doesn't mean that person's truthful. See, because truth comes from a place of inner insight. And inner insight requires wisdom. And wisdom is given by God. I get wisdom from God. And God lives deep down within me. So if I'm getting wisdom from God, that means I'm connected to my inner self. My inner self is rooted, is deeply rooted. But if I'm not connected to my inner self, because there's things that are going on inside of me that's blocking me and cutting me off from being true to myself. That's why, in ancient Kemet, which is Egypt, our people called it Kemet, or Kibulan. At a certain time, it depends, but the whole point is they chiseled away on the top of some of the temples know thyself. It kind of rings with to thy own self be true, love of oneself. The only way I can love myself is that I'm connected to what my inner essence is, and I'm operating in the spirit of what my purpose is. And operating in that spirit I'm gonna be operating in a truth, in an inward, deeply rooted truth that will prevent me from having delusional thinking for too long. Because delusional thinking, there's a lot of, the root of delusional thinking is fear. Because I'm afraid to face the truth. But there's a lot of branches to that tree of delusional thinking. Delusional thinking is also in me thinking that I can change someone because I might have an inward need for people to change for me to be okay with me. See, it's real sick and it's real sneaky. If you treat me a certain way or if you act a certain way with me, then I'll be okay. So I don't need others to be a certain way so that I could be okay. Because if my peace and happiness is reliant upon other people's actions towards me and how they respond or interact to me, then I'm effed. I'm effed. Because people are not going to do what I want them to do. People are people. People are entitled to their own experiences. And it's delusional for me to think that I can change somebody. Even in trying to help, I got to understand my levels of powerlessness, my levels of powerlessness that's there. Even in me being a servant of God, I don't determine the outcome of whether somebody grows spiritually or steps over or is able to leap over the bounds of obstacles that are there for them, even if I see the obstacles. If you tell somebody there's a wall there, they're going to run harder into it. It's better off you not tell them that the wall is there and just let them run into the wall. They won't run as hard in most cases. Delusional thinking is also that me thinking that if I be a certain way, that I can affect the outcome of my relationships with other people, because this whole thing is about relationships. Delusional thinking is rooted in relationships. Rooted. Everything we're going to touch on is about relationships. My relationship with me, my relationship with people around me, my relationship with my community, my relationship with God, my relationships at work. It goes on and on. So, I've tried all kinds of ways to get people to accept me. Tried all kinds of ways. It might be somebody you like, when you're growing up, and somebody that you're dating, you want them to accept you a certain way. So you wear certain clothes and you act a certain way around them. And then you find that ain't good enough. or you didn't get the necessary reaction in different situations that you were looking for based on what you think you were bringing to the table. Trying to play checkers and chess emotionally and mentally with people. If I do this, maybe he'll do this, and then if I do that, he'll probably do this, or she'll do that based on if I do this, because she or he seems to be this type of person. They seem to be that type. They seem to be this type. So if I do this, because last time when I was with a type like that, I did this, and then they did that, and then I messed up and did this, so that caused them to do that, and that's how I lost the relationship. So, this time I'll do it different. I'll do that instead of this, and then it still doesn't work because it just goes on and on. That to this to this to that. Because now then I become the general that's fighting the last war. I'm bringing all of these past experiences into new experiences, and that counts even with business, with the workplace, at the job. There's some people that can't hold down jobs. So every job they go to, they acting. You're acting one way with the new boss based on your last experiences with your old bosses. With your new coworkers based on your last experience with your old coworkers. Delusional thinking. I'm not allowing myself to have a new experience. I'm not allowing myself to be vulnerable because, breaking news. Breaking news, is okay to be vulnerable. If you live this thing called life, you're gonna get hurt. But people can only hurt you really, but so much. And everybody, the thing is, everybody wants to win all the time. That's the problem. Everybody wants to win. It's all about winning. How can I make sure that I win, that I come out on top in this situation? So you're at this new workplace. You're feeling everybody out. You're looking. You're canvassing the terrain. You're seeing what you can get away with the boss, or what you can't get away with. I go through this all the time. I'm telling you. Go through this. I'm a boss. I'm an owner. And I just watch the train of thinkers, and I watch people ambush themselves based on delusional thinking. You ever sit down and talk with somebody about maybe some events that transpired, and you just listen to them? Because as an owner, I've learned that I have to be a great listener. I gotta listen. It's more important that I listen when I'm talking to them, when we're having conversations. It's more important that I listen. I give a lot of orders, and I give orders, but I also need to listen, because if you listen, whenever something happens, you listen, like what happened between two of the coworkers, or between you and them, or whatever it is, and let them explain why they did what they did. Delusion. And I'd be sitting there like, wow, they got this whole thing wrong. Because the first problem is you're trying to figure out what you think I was thinking. And whenever I do that, I'm in trouble. Let lesson number 1 be, please don't base a decision and do something based on what you think somebody else is thinking. That's like, we learn that from football. They tell you, to believe what you see, on defense. Just believe what you see and respond to what you're seeing. Don't try to think what you think they're going to do. And some of the worst coaches are coaches who try to anticipate what they think the other team is thinking. And think themselves right out the game. fail to execute on their game plan because they're trying to think what they think the other coach is thinking, so then they make a decision based on what they think they're thinking. I mean, goodness gracious. And people do that. People do that with each other. I think they're thinking this, so I'm going to do this, because they're probably going to do this, so let me do it in advance. Because everybody wants to come out on the winning end. Nobody wants to ever be the so-called loser. And in most situations, you're not losing. Let things play out. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. It's okay. God got you. It's not going to be that bad. Because most times it's a boogie monster. I'm telling you, the boogie monster got more power on this planet than anybody, than the devil. The devil, the devil need to go to the boogie monster for some lessons. Now, I'm not trying to be funny. Because it's this boogie monster that looms over people. And it causes people to think delusionally. And delusional thinking is rooted in fear. And people who have a fear of losing something that they have, or not getting something that they want, or being hurt. So, you got a bunch of delusional people out there and having conflicts with each other based on one big delusion. Both people wrong. He did this to me. She said this about me. She did this. She was going to do that. And I know, and she told this one this, and this one said to her this, and he said, and I can't believe he. And it's big nowadays with guys. Oh, man. The brothers are worse than women now. I'm telling you, I got so many people that's not talking to me. People stop talking to me over. I don't understand what was going on with brothers. It must be something new in the air. It must be global warming. I think global warming is messing up brothers' minds. Brothers are sensitive nowadays, and it's ridiculous. I mean, come on. I hear some of the reasons, that brothers aren't talking to me. It's all based in delusion. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. Just being me. And so, delusion on top of delusion, and we're going to wrap this up because this is just the first part. We're going to do part 2 tomorrow. But delusion on top of delusion, instincts and collision, the basis of shooting, cussing, fussing, and fighting, the basis of it. We got people colliding emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, companies warring because nobody doesn't want to lose. Everybody want to be on top. Small businesses trying to pull each other down. We're gonna get into that later on. We're gonna cover that. Crabs in the barrel. While Wall Street makes out, people not wanting to work together, delusional thinking. I mean, we all scraping and scratching and clawing. People don't want to come together. They rather hate on you. See? Based on delusional thinking, not understand that, that when we come together, there's more families delusional. We can get into the family component of the delusional family aspect. Everybody running off to their own corners. We got a lot to cover in this series of delusional thinking. We're gonna touch on a lot. And in the next series, we're gonna talk about the family structure, the black family structure. The last institution. The last standing institution. That's going to be the next series. So I want you guys to look out. Thanks for listening. Please go off in peace and just try. I want to leave you with this. Try just taking it easy and relaxing inwardly and mentally. And give yourself the next 3 days. I'm going to give y'all an assignment. For 3 days, I want you to just sit back and let the events of the next 3 days just play out. That's it. Just let them play out. Don't make any rash decisions and watch what happens. You're going to notice that you spend a lot of unnecessary energy trying to change things that's not necessary for you to change because they're exactly the way they're supposed to be. Just give your mind 3 days off and accept the next 3 days of how they're supposed to be and see what happens. Thank you for listening to the Brother Malik Experience. Peace and blessings.